back again, another video, back with another interview, and I have one of the coolest guys from the Litecoin Foundation, or even in the Litecoin sector in general. This guy is none other than, introduce yourself to the audience, tell everybody who you are.
What's up, guys? I'm Jonny Moore. I'm Jonny Litecoin on Twitter, and I'm the VP of Nationwide Merchant Solutions, and I help with Litecoin payment adoption.
All right, perfect. So, tell us, Jonny, like a little bit more of your background and how you actually got started with Litecoin.
Sure. So I'm a credit card payments processor. That's what I've done for about the last 10 years or so. And I worked, in the credit card processing space for a while. I was happy in that world. And, all of a sudden I had known about Bitcoin and, in the beginning of 2017, I started hearing more noise about Bitcoin again and actually noise about Litecoin. And somebody kind of came into my office and showed me a Litecoin transaction. They pulled it up on like a block cipher, like a block explorer. Me being in payments, I was intrigued by like the back end stuff of the payment, and I was blown away. I saw a $1,000 payment sent across country from New York to Cali, and
Wow.
I was just blown away that the information we were
Wow.
able to get without having an account, without having to call anybody. And I just it was like an awakening. I stood up in my office. I said, "We're out of business, everybody." I said, "We're out of business." And I started investing at first, and I just was like, I want to invest in this stuff. I see the value in it. And I started learning everything I could. I really dove into it with both feet, and watched every YouTube show I could watch, tried to read every book, and that was kind of my start in the crypto world. And then when the market kind of started going south again and tanking, there was a lot of FUD out there, and a lot of people didn't know what they were talking about, and they were like, "Oh, crypto is dead." And I'm like, "Dead? It hasn't started." And I'm like, you guys don't know payments. I'm like, I do this for a living. People are still using plastic credit cards and you swiping
Yeah.
them. They're real slow to adopt the technology. So I was like, I got to get the right message out there to people. And I just started going on to chat rooms and putting messages out there. And that's kind of how I got involved with Litecoin. Some people from the foundation found me and were like, "We like what you're doing, and come join us on Slack." And the rest is Litecoin history.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing because I know for sure that's a story that anybody would be proud to tell. Because especially from someone being in the payment system and have a background in payments, that is something that is basically right up your alley. Because like the fundamentals behind payment processing and how tedious Visa, MasterCard, and the rest of those processing giants know what they're actually, like taking people away from for so many years, or taking out of the pockets of merchants for so many years. Like, explain a little bit more so people really, for people who don't know what it actually consists of being a payment processor, or being a merchant of one of those payment processing giants in the sector. Just explain a little bit more about it.
Sure. So when I say payment processing, I help businesses process credit card transactions. So typically they're either new businesses that haven't been opened yet, or they're existing businesses, right?
Yeah.
And they want to switch their credit card services over to me. So usually what we do is we give them some type of machine or a point of sale system or some type of device or software to process these payments through.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with it is that the public thinks when they walk around with a credit card that the payments are final. They
Yeah.
don't they don't see it on the end of the business accepting payment. So Not
Okay.
only is there fees involved, so fees are just one small portion of it. The businesses pay fees to process payments.
Hmm.
However, the payments aren't final. The merchant that takes the payment can lose a credit card transaction for like 6 months or more after that sale occurred.
Wow.
So, so that's a big problem, and that's a problem that nobody knows when it's going to happen. Like every day going to work, and somebody had a dispute or got money taken from them. They call
Hmm.
me up angry. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? I got to explain to them the card holder initiated this dispute. Then they don't have their money for a while if they get their money back at all. So a lot of times they just
Hmm.
lose their money, period, on a dispute. The,
Wow.
the other thing that goes on is not everybody can process payments.
Hmm.
So the processing networks behind the scenes are very picky and strict with who they take on.
Hmm.
If they deem the business risky, they're either not going to let them process at all, or they're going to say to them, hey, we'll let you process the payments. However, you need to put up money up front as a deposit to be able to process payments. So I've
Wow.
I've seen the deposit they've asked for be millions of dollars for certain types of accounts.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
and most people think, oh, this must be like selling like stuff on the dark web or selling like marijuana online or
Hmm.
no, this is just people selling jewelry online, electronics, appliances, different types of people that do like debt consolidation, fantasy sports. Like there's so
Okay.
many different sectors that these processors hate, and it's really a nightmare for these types of companies to be able to just process a payment.
Wow. Like, just imagine if you're actually like even doing something like a t-shirt business, because I seen like you have a very well detailed Litecoin shirt there is very interesting. I know that a lot of people might be seeing it and asking you like countless amount of questions about it every day that you wear them. But even something like having a t-shirt business, like you could actually like try to accept payments or be one of the merchants from selling t-shirts online on one of your stores, and then they're going to tell you that, oh, your business is too risky and they won't like approve you for any kinds of payments, whatever, or anything like that you're actually trying to say.
Yeah, even something like t-shirts. I've seen you know, they get spooked about a particular t-shirt or clothing company selling online, and they say to them either they got to start funding this reserve account, or they're just going to
Wow.
shut them down completely, or they won't approve the account. So it's trouble. They're a lot more strict with stuff that's online, but
Hmm.
again, the whole world's going online. Like, you know,
Yeah.
outside of like going to restaurants or like nail salons or hair salons or entertainment type of stuff, there's not
Hmm.
really much of a need to get many goods in Main Street USA anymore. It's more, hey, let me go online and buy it, and it'll be here by tomorrow, kind of thing. So, seeing that everything is going online, they're just again, there's so much more strict with stuff online that it's Hold on one second. Sorry, I got my daughter here. Hold on. Backwards. We have a backwards shirt over here. I'm sorry. That's a
Yeah.
that's an emergency. I got a little girl, so an inside out shirt is a definite emergency.
Yeah. Yeah. Every now and then we have those little hiccups where it's like something goes wrong and you have to correct it like right away.
Sorry about that, guys. So we may get interrupted again because I am my wife's at 80s night tonight. So
Oh, okay. Well, whatever we do, we don't do edits, so they're gonna see everything raw and uncut.
no
So,
problem, no problem.
so basically, that just goes to show like we're regular folks, like doing regular jobs, and all we do is just try to spread adoption and bring awareness to where awareness is actually needed. So it's really been like a pleasure trying to have people know exactly what it is that you're trying to do, and just the whole part of adoption on a whole by itself. Because even what you were saying earlier about like everything going online and stuff like that, I noticed, like, do you even realize that most of the stores that they have that was like brick and mortar are like all shutting down like slowly, and everything is moving digital, everything is going online. And a lot of people might be saying, oh well, it's Amazon's fault. Like Amazon might be the reason why these, big tech companies or big giant companies are shutting down. And it's like, we even have like this store that's like right up the street from my house. I think it's a Payless. They're shutting doors on, I forgot how many hundred stores that they're closing down. Like they're gone for good, and they're
Yeah.
not back. And it's like, just imagine the headache and all of that torture that they had to go through with payment processing before they actually shut doors. And like, we had this amount of chargebacks, and oh, this happened again, and we need to get rid of this part. It is just, it's so overwhelming having a business run and dealing with all of that.
It really is, and it's such a hidden thing that the public just they overlook it. They don't even realize that there's people that do what I do and that they're the ones setting up the payment. A lot of people just think, hey, you probably just call Visa and start taking payments. And no, there's people out there like doing this for a
Yeah.
living kind of thing, and just to see the pitfalls of how it's not it's smooth it's smooth in most cases. I tell people, and
Hmm.
most of the time it's gonna run pretty smooth. However, it's when it doesn't. These are major problems people have. You're talking about people's
Yeah.
money, their livelihood, and it's like, if a small business goes without their working capital for more than a few days, that's a major, major problem.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And then it's like, imagine if it actually goes for like more than a week, and then it goes into like months, like you were saying that it could take up to like how many days before they, like, they have it.
180 days they
Wow.
hold people's money for, and I've seen it happen a lot. I've seen all different processors do it,
Hmm.
PayPal, people like that, and you just the merchants don't know when it's going to happen. They're kind of like they don't all of a sudden they don't get paid one day.
Wow.
Happen, and then the processor's like, yeah, we're gonna be holding your money for a while,
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy because it could happen like so random and you don't even know that it's coming. And it's like it just hits you out of nowhere. But having something like cryptos being accepted as everyday payments, and even having that as like a growing adoption, that is like the perfect alternative.
Perfect alternative. You could send payment anywhere. It's fast. It's cheap. It's reliable. It can't be stopped. It's got great security. So I mean, it's got everything you want in payments. People are just very like in America, especially, they're very creatures of habit, and they're
Yeah.
very like the free thinking has gotten less and less, and people are just like they need stuff so easy. So this is some of the
Hmm.
problem I'm seeing, that nobody wants to do anything that's not like, if they don't just push the button they always pushed. Even you're like, hey, can you push this button? They're like, yeah, but I push this button always. You're like, yeah, but push this button instead. They're like, well, I don't know. I'm used to pushing this button. It's like you're pushing a button. Like, what's the argument here? But people are just like they need, and people don't want to know anything. Like I never understood this. Like with most stuff, I'm a curious guy. I want to generally like know how stuff works at least, or at least I kind of ask, and I if to my own knowledge. I got to get like my own understanding of it, right?
Yeah.
Most people, though, it like a lot of stuff, they're just like, I don't want to know, I don't want to know. And then I'm like, well, you don't even know the basics of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
like
gotta
you
know
have
it's
to,
your business.
yeah, you have to
Like
know
this is
something, right?
like you'd be super shocked. Like I'll tell people, I'm like, hey, can you set up the username and password and send it to me? They're like, oh, you just set it up. I'm like, yeah, but it's for your account. I'm like, then I'm the only one that has access to it. Like, yeah, just set it up. And I'm like,
Oh my
all
God.
right, I guess. I'm like, just set up a temporary one, give it to me. Let me do what I got to do to help you out, and then change it back.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's that simple. Like, of course, you're not gonna keep something like that forever. Like, it's gotta get changed somewhere down the line.
So, so yeah, it's a crazy world I live in with these payments.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because even like as far as even going across the payment borders, you would have like some news that just came out the other day of Venezuela now accepting like Bitcoin and Litecoin for remittance payments, and I think that is huge.
Huge. That to me is really big news because this is what we all talk about. That as these fiat currencies kind of collapse, they'll ultimately turn to Bitcoin and Litecoin, and
Hmm.
it's a real world case study of what we've all been talking about. And here it happened. They kind of almost submitted the government and said, "Hey, this is a better form of money, better form of payment. We've integrated it into our system that we're behind, so people can start using this for these remittances and stuff." So I think it's great. I think if anything, it can only help the people there. Like if you have family in Venezuela or something, you want to send them a few bucks. Now you can send them money easily. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
very it's a good thing overall. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and even look at it in a sense where it could be such a widespread in the coming months. Because if Venezuela gets started, what could stop like Cuba or Mexico or even like other places in the Caribbean and places like that that people go overseas to work and send money back home to their families? That is like something that's truly revolutionary. Because if you look at it, companies like Western Union or MoneyGram or Zoom or any other of those other tech big money remittance services, they make millions and well, I would say hundreds of millions a day off of basic people like you and me that are just trying to send money just down the street other than like trying to make it cheaper. They're killing people with fees and they really just don't care about it.
No, and the cool thing is for these countries, even they're making money on Bitcoin or Litecoin payments, doing the remittance for it,
Hmm.
but they're able to offer it to the people for at least half of what it would cost to send MoneyGram or Western Union, at least half. So right
Yeah.
off the bat, if you're paying half price for something as a consumer, as a citizen, you're like, oh wow, I'm doing better off already. But then the cool thing is the government gets to make some money also. So it's
Hmm.
like so they're not making money off Western Union or MoneyGram. If they are, they're making vapors of money. So with
Yeah.
this, they're actually making a nice little profit. So it's a
Mhm.
win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for the people. It's a win for the
Yeah.
government. It's a win for people in other countries. If we want an easy way to send money to that country,
Yeah.
it's just good all around. So I think we'll see more of that happening. I think it's just the first of many.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that what makes it so crazy is that when the people of Venezuela see that, oh, well, instead of me going through a money remittance service and having like an entity being controlled like all of my finances, I could just do it from peer to peer. And it's only going to be a matter of time before the word gets out, and then people are going to be like, wait a minute. I I've been doing this wrong. Like we're doing the same like you know what I mean? Like we've been doing the same thing as like Western Union and the rest of those giants have been doing. Let's just send the money from one person to another and cut out the middleman.
Right,
And
right.
then, then they'll actually realize what true decentralization means and be in your own bank. And that's when I think it's going to be truly revolutionary because when everybody start adopting it as being a peer-to-peer payment system, that's when it's really going to take off.
Yeah, no, that's and that's what I'm most excited for. And I feel like in America, I'm kind of the outlier because everybody else is excited for they want the bull run, they want to make the money, and I'm human. I want to make money also. I'm not an alien or something, but
Yeah.
I am because I'm in payments. The payment stuff is what gets me excited. And I tell people like I'm not going anywhere, no matter how much money I make doing this. Like I'm
Yeah.
here. I want adoption. I want a better form of money, better form of payment for people, and I'm not gonna rest until that happens. So I'm gonna be a thorn in the regular financial system side until I get the adoption that I want. Then I'll go away. Once everything's adopted the way I want it to be, I'll
Yeah.
go to like a undisclosed location somewhere.
Because it's like, just think about it. It's like now we are literally like in the 80s of the tech industry of this. We're literally like back in the day, like we were talking in like a pre-interview session, and you were referring it to being like a Back to the Future Part One, where it's like everything is just so far behind, you don't know, where this is all headed until everything just like goes like blown out of proportion once you see a glimpse of the future. It's gonna be so crazy.
It is. It's exciting. Definitely is exciting times. Like no matter what happens, it's exciting nonetheless. You know.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like another thing. It's like a lot of people that they're all dreaming about the Lambos and the boats and all of that kind of crazy stuff. I mean, it's it's a thing where all the early adopters that are like truly believers of the space and know that it's something that is going to truly change the world, I think they're actually going to be the people that come out on top to truly own the Lambo or to own the boats or to get the houses or whatever that they're actually trying to get. And it's so crazy where you could have something like this integrated in payment systems, let alone have it evidently like replacing Visa or MasterCard in the future. That to me is like truly revolutionary.
Yes, so many ways it can be used. You got to remember it's a currency, it's a payment network, and it's programmable money. So I mean, it's doing
Yeah.
three different things at one time. So it's like, is it going to be used to replace the payment networks? Definitely could, definitely
Yeah.
should. We'll see what
Mm-hmm.
extent it does take them out.
Yeah.
Currency. Is it going to replace all currency? It should. It could. We'll see. So and then it's like, well, what software programs are built on top of this, and what different things come out? That's the programmable part of it. So it's like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
so exciting. And you don't know what combination of what is going to mold for the future. So it's just like, it's exciting. We're definitely at an important time where we're at like a paradigm. I feel like people have to
Mm-hmm.
you know, things can go more centralized or they could go more decentralized. And we got
Yeah.
to keep getting the word out there that, there's something to these decentralized networks that give them their value, their power. There's not that central point of failure. I mean, it's just, I think as more people, it's the tough thing is getting people to kind of get their brain around that, because
Yeah.
people don't think of that stuff at all. They're just like, it's turn it on and it works, and they're not thinking of how it works, the potential problems, and they
Yeah.
shouldn't be either. But it's so it's that is the challenge right now, I guess, is the proper education.
Yeah, and like just seeing like the adoption that we've been getting, like even the past couple of months, even coming up until now, it is something that I know that is definitely going to change the world. And from seeing the adoption going by on a day-to-day basis, I definitely know that we're definitely going to the moon, seeing what I'm seeing so far.
we,
It's like,
we see this moon trip. Unfortunately, it's like everybody else sees us that we're not going to get out of the atmosphere, So it's
yeah.
we see the moon. They're seeing being stuck on Earth. So
Yeah, yeah, because it's a lot of people that are still saying that Bitcoin is going to zero. People like Jamie Dimon and what's that other guy's name?
Nouriel Rabini,
Yeah, yeah, him
he's the
and
enemy of crypto.
and 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 this other guy that a lot of people really don't like to talk about much that describes it as rat poison.
Oh, Warren Buffett said that.
Yeah.
Another bad guy. There's like a cast of characters of the bad people of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The Wolf of Wall Street's another guy. I don't know if you know about that guy, Jordan.
Yeah.
That guy, like, people ask me about that guy a lot, and a lot of people like worship this guy, and they're using his talking points to come at me, and I'm like, this guy he's a criminal. Okay, people rehab themselves. I don't normally like I don't normally care what people did, right? But to be a criminal and then to say something else is criminal, but he was ripping off old people in like the Midwest. That was like his career. So it's like, how is this guy going to talk about honesty and integrity of stuff? And it's like, it's,
Oh boy.
I don't get it.
So it's almost like he was just practicing something that he just wasn't preaching.
He was.
Because normally they would always say that you should practice, whatever that you preach. But as far as I could tell, he's doing it in a total different light. He's
he
doing it the other way around.
he wasn't practicing what he was preaching.
No.
No,
That's,
no.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. But I mean, I know for sure that like even like you were talking about with the payment system and how cryptocurrency could be used as like three different things. I know from a technological aspect of it, I know that there were also talks of Litecoin like initiating a private or privacy functionality sometime in the near future.
Yeah, they were they're talking about rolling out confidential transactions.
Hmm.
So that's a little different than like Monero level privacy. So think of
Yeah.
Monero as like the ultimate or the pinnacle of privacy. So
Okay.
confidential transactions more or less hide the amount that's sent. So
Hmm.
which is nice. It's a good step in the direction of privacy, especially since it's providing that privacy or that confidential factor on
Hmm.
chain. The Lightning Network is going to allow for a lot more privacy, just
Yeah.
by inherently how it's built with these channels, and the transactions aren't on chain, so they don't always have that permanent record. So you'll definitely see a lot of enhancements in privacy with the
Mhm.
Lightning Network, and that's one of the things that I'm so excited for at Lightning Network. Like it's gonna not only scale for speed, it's gonna scale for privacy as well. So it's all good stuff to come, is what I say.
Yeah, and then and another question that I was actually looking into was how do you feel about like taxation of cryptos on a whole? Or how do you see this integrating itself into the payment feature, being as you could actually have a privacy layer on top of it where you could hide transactions and people generally won't see anything going on behind the scenes? How do you think that would affect crypto as being a payment option in the future?
Um, I think that they have to change how they tax. Um, I'm I'm definitely like being libertarian, like being a lot of people in crypto are very like libertarian like
Mhm.
mindset. So, usually the libertarian mindset is you're kind of anti-taxation.
Yeah,
So I'm a very anti-income tax. However, I feel like people should pay a consumption tax or a sales tax on, if you want 10 Lambos, great, get them, but you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to help. Some
yeah,
of that tax money on your Lambo is gonna
yeah,
go help feed some people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so
That's fair.
I think with everything going internet based, it's going to be easy for them to enforce tax on purchases that occur online
Hmm.
because you can get to the software programs themselves. Like they can get to Shopify and the or PayPal and the different platforms and say, okay, we need a record of what people are doing, and we're going to now report based on sales that go through their platform, right? Because we can't
Yeah,
directly tax because everybody's using crypto. So I could see that happening. And I think if anything, that'll just provide a better system, a more fair system. More people are paying an equal amount of tax.
hmm,
Um, you won't see all these rich people having all these loopholes, and it'll just be but yet people won't be deterred by a high income tax. So I think I'm excited that that'll be a cleaner system. So that's where I can foresee it going in my mind.
yeah, yeah. Because as far as I could tell, I heard where they came out with the whole taxation thing in like the fourth quarter of 2017, and a lot of people really wasn't happy about that because the way that they were trying to tax folks is literally like robbery, like a highway robbery type of thing. And people were looking at, well, if I'm going to gain a certain amount of, or if I'm going to have a certain amount of gains on my investment and have to pay all that gain back in taxes, like that is ridiculous. I don't see myself paying all my gains back to the government when initially I could have like something, I should be able to have more of my gains and not pay it all in taxes, is what a
Right.
lot of people are saying.
So yeah, it's I guess my advice isn't tax advice or to anybody, but
Yeah, this is not investment advice, guys.
advice.
Or
I always
tax
tell
advice.
people, I always laugh. People say this isn't financial advice, but I say this is like common sense advice, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the main things that they can enforce the tax on right now is if you buy and sell in Coinbase, like Square Cash App and things like that, because they have a record of what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
as far as like things like, like they want to try to, they really want to try to tax you on if you make a purchase, did you gain or lose in that purchase? Did you
Yeah.
swap from one coin to another? So
Hmm.
there's actually legislation to change that on
Yeah.
certain cryptos. So I think like you'll see it change on Litecoin and Bitcoin and like Ethereum. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like that's going to be a problem for much longer.
Hmm.
Um, but what I do tell everybody is too, you can take a loss just as much as they want to tax you on the way up, take the
Hmm.
loss on the way down. Now, where they get you is you can only take up to a $3,000 write off on losses. But
Oh,
if
okay.
people paid in 2017 taxes,
Mhm.
I tell them take the maximum write off in 2018 because if you had profit in 2017, you lost in 2018. So please
Yeah.
take your $3,000 tax write off for sure. But
Yeah.
I see them just again, if you're buying and selling in Coinbase, they'll try to
Hmm.
tax. That's why a lot of people like to stay within the ecosystem, like trade their decentralized exchanges, swap from one coin to another. I mean, that's really stuff that there's no tax paperwork they're going to give you. That's kind of more self-reporting. And with
Okay.
laws that are going to be changing and everything, that's stuff I personally wouldn't really be too concerned with for people. But don't ignore the tax forms you get. If you get a tax form from Coinbase or
Hmm.
Square or one of those companies, Gemini, definitely definitely file it on your taxes. Don't hide
Yeah.
it, because if you hide it and don't give it to your accountant or don't report it, it's
Hmm.
being reported already behind the scenes, and you're gonna have more problems, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's always good to just go ahead and get rid of the issue before the issue turns into a bigger problem, is what I always say. Because in the future, while it might be all fine and dandy now, like in the future when they slap you with a big lawsuit, or you get like a big how they actually do like a seizure of your assets, or try to close your account down or take control of your account, is definitely not fun, especially when you need that money. That is
Right, right.
definitely not fun.
So the cool thing is it's going to be harder for them to do that because they can't seize Bitcoin or Litecoin, as long as you're holding the private keys. If you have it in Coinbase and they want to seize your assets, I'm sure they could take control of your Coinbase account, kind of thing. But
Hmm.
they can't suck the seed words out of your brain and recreate your wallet. So
Yeah.
it is going to get harder for them to do a lot of stuff. So that's why I feel like undoubtedly we'll see change, and how things are taxed. They'll have to evolve.
Yeah, because I always tell people, like, if it's not your if it I always tell them that if it's not your keys, it's definitely not your coins.
Right.
So
That's
you
good
know,
advice you're giving people.
yeah, and it's like I've seen so many problems where so many people have lost so much money in the space, and it just keeps on revolving over and over. Even that same thing that happened with Quadriga CX. I'm not sure if you heard about that, where the guy faked his death, or
Oh
they're
yeah, yeah.
saying that he faked his death. Nobody knows for sure, because the guy is like, you know, then nobody saw a certificate, well, a proper death certificate. Nobody saw a funeral. You
Right.
know, nobody's even
He just
reported that his
disappeared,
wife
the
was
guy.
crying. It's ridiculous.
E- Even like Coinbase, like I see so many people that they'll see the shirt, or I'll say, yeah, I'll send you a little Litecoin and cool, and I'll
Mhm.
open up your wallet, and they go to open up Coinbase, and it's like they haven't opened it up since like last year when things were flying. They
Mhm.
open the app back up, and they're like, it hits them for the identity verification. And then all of a
Oh
sudden,
yeah.
what I was trying to do with them, they can't do. And it's just like, if they didn't have it in Coinbase, they had it in a different type of wallet.
Hmm.
It's permissionless. You go in and do what
Yep.
you want. So it, it's hard to. I hope people see the value in the non custodial products and all that, but people are used to my money's in the bank kind of thing, or these
Yeah.
people are telling me what to do. I feel like America is kind of turning into people kind of turn on TV, turn on Facebook, and they like wait for their next move. Like, what are they going to tell us to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing where it's like people are so accustomed to being so submissive to everything
Yeah,
around them. It's like you almost want to hear when to go to sleep, when to eat, when to brush your teeth, and stuff like that. It's just crazy because it's like it's slowly turning people into not being able to think for themselves anymore.
I
And
I
that
tell
is,
people I'm only submissive to my wife. To the rest of the world, I'm a tough guy.
and that's how you have to do it, because you know, guys, this is not financial advice or family advice. uh, be submissive to your wife, and
This is marriage advice.
yeah, you'll sleep in the doghouse. Don't try to do anything else. But but I mean, like people have so many problems with not thinking for themselves. They would literally give their whole life away or sign their whole life away just for ease of use or something that's just convenient. Because even with Coinbase, you're literally like signing all your privacy away.
All of it, yeah.
And,
It's
and it's crazy.
it's not the so I tell people everybody thinks oh Coinbase is the first step in crypto, right? And
Mhm.
I tell people if you really want to do somebody a solid before you set them up with Coinbase, obviously they need something like Coinbase to buy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want to really do them a favor and teach them about the value of crypto, set them up with like Exodus wallet first or Jack's
Yeah,
wallet or something like that. Let
yeah,
them let them write down the 12 words. Send them $1 or two. Let them
yeah,
see that process, and then everybody's like, "Wait a minute, they didn't ask me who I am," and I'm like, "You're those 12 words." I tell them, and they're like, and all of a sudden it clicks, and people are like,
yeah.
and I shown like people that have family overseas and stuff. I could send money overseas like this. They're like, this is like powerful stuff. And
Yeah.
then you give them Coinbase, and then when
Mhm.
Coinbase asks them 85 questions, and you need to get your picture, your face perfect because it's doing the facial thing.
Mhm.
They won't get annoyed. You'll just say, hey, this is the government making them do this. You see how big, because if you do it the other way around, people tell me, oh, Bitcoin, Litecoin, it's annoying. They ask too many questions. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? They don't ask, first of all, there's not a guy. And second of all, they're not asking any questions. But it's because Coinbase or these other apps stop them in their tracks. And they're associating that as Bitcoin or Litecoin. So it's, if we could all just get in our heads, give them that non-custodial wallet first, send them
Mhm.
a buck or two, let that set in, then send them your invite for Coinbase, and then
Yeah. And then they'll see the difference, right?
and you'll see the difference exactly.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's so funny how you would say people would talk about Bitcoin and Litecoin being annoying and asking too many questions. Because it's like there are people still trying to figure out who this guy Satoshi Nakamoto really is,
Right.
and and it's like we don't know, and a lot of people really don't care. All they know is he created one of the most revolutionary piece of technology known to this part of our generation.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
just
it's such
period.
a the double spend problem, and it's just so people don't understand what this means, but it's how you're transferring value and it's trustless because when you pay with a credit card, because people say, yeah, credit cards like that, you send people money, or
Mhm.
PayPal's like that, but you keep a
Yeah.
copy and give them a copy. So it's like if you
Mhm.
order pizza, you call up right now and order pizza after the Jonny Litecoin interview,
Mhm.
you get pizza delivered. You got to give them your credit card number. Now
Yeah.
you're they have your a copy of your credit card,
Yeah.
and now you go somewhere tomorrow and spend. They have a copy of your credit card. I mean, by
Mhm.
the time you've used your credit card for 6 months, 80 to 100 places have a copy of it because as a processor, we can pull the numbers at any time.
Yeah.
Anytime, any transaction, I can say, let me get the credit card number and pull it. And I have a copy of the card, So it's
Wow.
yeah, so what you hit the nail on the head. It's such a revolutionary piece of technology that was
Wow.
created and invented. And it's, I mean, this is going to go down with like the wheel and like the internet as like great and
Yeah.
the car as great inventions
Yeah.
in the history of mankind.
Yeah. Also like fire. Because you need that for the spaceship, right?
We do need the fire. Yes, yes.
Ignite the fire.
Ignite the fire, John Kim style.
Yeah, I definitely have to get him on the show one of these days too. I
He's
definitely,
he's a good guy. He's full of energy, John Kim. I'll get him on here for you.
yeah, definitely. Because I look forward to his Twitter post that he always puts out, and man, he is full of energy. He is that like that one guy that you would love to go out to a bar with and just know that you're gonna have fun, just
Me,
partying.
me and him always have a good time when we're out. Like we've been out to a bunch of bars and we always have a blast. Like we both bring like high energy, like and
Yeah.
we always have a good time. Do you know about the LTC East Coast team?
I've heard about it, but I've never actually get to meet like, apart from yourself, I never actually got a chance to meet anybody else as far as that goes.
So this was a cool thing that John put together, and
Mhm.
it started out. It was probably about 12 people,
Okay.
and now it's probably about 40 people as part of this Litecoin East Coast team.
Wow.
And we all have a chat that we're on, and we just talk about different stuff. And not all Litecoin. Sometimes we talk about
Mhm.
personal stuff. It's somebody's birthday, or we're BSing about the game, or who
Okay.
likes the Cowboys, who likes the page. But for the most part,
Yeah.
talking about different events we're doing for adoption, different things we're doing, trying to get ATMs placed, different people want to process crypto payments. So
Hmm.
awesome thing. John Kim set it up, and it's like he ignited the fire. He he
Wow.
set it up, and then he went on his merry way. I mean, he's still friends with all of us and stuff, but it's when he came to Jersey, helped set this up, and now it's like the vision lives on. And then even though he went to another part of the country, it's like we're still
Hmm.
continuing on with that mission, that
Yeah.
fire that he ignited in us, which is cool.
Yeah. I know for sure that what I would love to see is I would love to have John Kim like visit us back over on the East Coast and have like a little crypto meetup somewhere where we could educate people more about Litecoin, and you with the experience in the payment sector, that would bring it even more clarity. And maybe we could have like some people install some ATMs around their businesses.
Absolutely, we have some good stuff planned for this year. The big meetup that we have coming up soon, or the big meetup right now is going to be the Bitcoin Ben meetup in June.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I definitely want you to come to that. We'll probably do a smaller meetup before then. There's an event that I have Litecoin sponsoring that I'm
Okay.
part of. It's just a general business networking event
Oh,
that's going to be
okay.
pretty big. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to have like a crypto booth talking. So maybe you want to
Mm.
come take a ride up for that or something. But
Yeah, that would be
we'll keep,
nice.
after the Ben event, we'll keep having some stuff, and we always try to have it at a place that accepts Litecoin for payment. So just to kind of
Right.
show them the support, and then we could all pay with Litecoin, which is cool.
Cool, cool. And then it's like the more you use it, the more it gets better and better each time. It's almost like riding a bike, because it's like once people get into the whole process of scanning the QR code or checking the address to make sure that everything is correct, it just trains your mind into like being more and more responsible
Yes.
about your own assets and your own financials that you have in front of you. Because a lot of people would really be like, okay, well, here's my credit card. Just take it. And literally, like you said something earlier that opened up my eyes because I didn't think about it like you processing a payment and somebody else pay, like processing a payment all the way like down the street or even a few blocks down the road, and they have a copy of my credit card and you have a copy of my credit card. and so does like 50 other different merchants,
Right.
and anybody could just use it and just
Everybody's got the
buy
code.
whatever. Yeah, like they could literally, like you literally are at the mercy of the merchants without even knowing it.
Yeah.
And that just brings it back to what we were talking about like a couple of minutes ago, like ease of use, and giving away your freedom, and also there's so many different things that could come in aspect like identity theft,
Oh,
and
identity theft is huge in the payments. Identity theft is the number one problem.
man, and
Yeah,
just imagine.
I'm happy you brought that up because identity theft is actually the real thing that. So like, crypto hit me at the right time when I saw that transaction in my office.
Mhm.
The one for $1,000, and that's what really got me like hooked. But it's like, where was I going with this? I forgot what I was even saying, man. But it's like,
Yeah.
I had a brain. I'm sorry, man. Oh, that'll come back to me in a second. What was I saying again? I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
I
we
get.
were talking about identity theft.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the identity. Sorry, I got the kids yelling in the background. So the identity theft was such a problem because every day people try to set up these like fake accounts and they steal people's identities.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was kept saying to myself, where like forget that there's fraud. Like I know there's a lot of fraud. Where does the money go? I'm
Yeah,
like, no
that's a
one's
good question.
losing. No one's losing here, and I'm like, it wasn't making sense to me at all. And then all of a sudden, I didn't know about the debt and I didn't study anything about money. Like I probably, if you said to me, is the dollar backed by gold? I would have just said, I don't think so, but I don't know. I gotta like look into it. I would have told you.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know
yeah.
about the debt. Once I looked at like the US debt on paper and like, we're not on
Hmm.
the gold standard since 71. I was like, man, with all this stuff I'm seeing, where is it all the money going? And it's just like, to me, it's like a big ruse that they're pulling on us. So I'm happy to
Yeah,
bring up identity theft just because it's such a rampant problem, and it's a real good thing that blockchain can help solve. Uh,
yeah,
Secure
exactly.
identities.
Exactly. And the thing is, it just brings us back to this double spend feature that it's like non-existent with a secured blockchain, because once you try to spend, you know, 50 Litecoins at say this restaurant here, and then you go like across the town and try to spend the same 50 Litecoins in another restaurant or at a different store, it's definitely not going to help because it's already been spent at that restaurant.
Right,
You can't double spend like you
right.
would with a credit card and then report it the next day and be like, "Oh, well, I had like this amount of money and I spent this and that, what, I had like this amount of balance left over, and that's not correct. I need my money back." And it's just a headache. With cryptos, we don't have anything like
I'll
that.
throw another curveball at you that people don't think of. Say you go out to a restaurant and the bill's $50 and service was good, and you say, "Hey, I'm going to give them $10 tip," right? So you
Hmm.
write $10 on the piece of paper, and then you write total 60.
Yeah.
So most people don't think of how does that sale go from 50 to 60? Because they obviously charged your card 50, but
Yeah.
they need to get it to be 60. So what do they do to do it? Well, they actually go into the system and they change the amount of the sale and they make it
Oh.
the full amount. Usually the program says put in tip amount.
Hmm.
However, that doesn't always go smooth. People they put in the
Uh,
wrong amounts a lot.
yeah.
We've seen we usually hear about it when they overcharged and they gotta get the credit card number to refund. But
Hmm.
we just had it where it was a $5 tip. It was supposed to be. They charged 500 instead of $5.
Wow.
So on the debit card, people had rent due. Now all of a sudden they're mad at the restaurant because they're going to bounce the check for the rent. The
Oh
refund's not
boy.
back fast enough. So again, it's just that honor system. How can a system that were so advanced, they let you go in and change the sales after they occurred, or even like
Yeah. Yeah.
depositing a check in the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
You just put it in, and then half the time it can't read the amount, and then you go to the ATM and say this was $200.
Yeah.
It'd be like, you know what? It's 2,000, right? Let me get a higher credit on my bank account and pull the money out, and then close my account down and play games for a little while. I mean,
Yeah. It's
you could
like,
do it. You could do it.
I mean, I wouldn't tell any of the audience members to do it, but it's possible.
don't, don't do that stuff, audience. But this is just stuff that I have seen.
But I mean, it is something that is truly revolutionary that we will eliminate all of these aspects that they have with double spend, with people trying to incriminate, with identity theft, in so many sectors of payments, with cross borders and peer to peer transactions. It is just so many different aspects of this piece of technology. It is just simply amazing.
It's vast.
It's amazing.
It
and
definitely is.
and it was like, and it's so crazy because I was like trying to explain this to my mom the other day, and just imagine how that went, where I was trying I was trying to explain to her how you could send $100 million from one corner of the globe to another in like under 10 seconds, and you would have the full amount, and it's right there in front of you in seconds. She was like, well, how does it go from this part over to there and nobody's carrying it? Like, it's like, that is the amazing thing about blockchain tech that people are still trying to figure out up until this day. And that is what's going to push adoption even further, because when people see this incredible piece of tech before their eyes, they're gonna start wondering, like, well, how does this work? I need to find out more about this. That's what gets people hooked, and people get like, like overwhelmed when they start hearing all these possibilities, and it just seems endless, especially just with one crypto, and we have like on a market cap of over 2,000. It's incredible.
We're incredible times, man. We definitely are. I'm excited.
It is definitely incredible. I know for sure that this is something that is going to be recorded like 20, 30, 50 years down the line as like the launch of like some of the greatest aspect of technology known to mankind. And it's really, really getting there. It's really getting there, especially knowing that it's going into something like remittance services so early in the space. Just
Yeah.
imagine what they could come up with in the next 5 to 10 years.
The next 10 years will bring us a lot of cool products. I could tell that I do that I'm sure of. I just don't know what they are, what adopts, but I know a lot of cool stuff will come out.
Yeah. And I know for sure, like I know one of these days I would love to get a chance to meet like the creator and the founder himself, Charlie Lee. I would love to actually get a chance to meet him.
You should come to Magical Crypto Friends conference in New York City.
Oh yeah.
That's his. He's one of the people putting it on. So yeah, definitely. I'll DM you about that. You definitely want to go up to that.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. I assume you're probably going to be there as well.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. It's actually Mother's Day weekend, so I'll be there on Saturday. I don't want to.
Oh.
Charlie Lee's got some. He's a brave man, staying away from his wife on Mother's Day.
Oh boy. Yeah, That's asking for trouble. But I know for sure. I know he'll probably see this video once we retweet it out, and he'll see exactly what we're talking about. But I know for sure that with him and John Kim on board and all the other guys from the East Coast team, it is definitely going to be fun times over there. I know that it's definitely going to be a good time, and I'm definitely going to be there. I know for sure that I'm
Nice.
going to be there.
Nice. We'll get you up to this way too. We'll go to one of the businesses that accepts Litecoin. We'll go have lunch or something.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. It sounds like I'm being adopted into the Litecoin family.
You are, man. You are. You're not. we like to adopt new people that we find.
Yeah, that's good to know because it is definitely a nice group of individual to have around. Because it's what
Very welcoming, the people that are involved with Litecoin. Give me two. I got 2 more minutes, and then I got to run with the the kids.
yeah, definitely
Very just welcoming group of people. They're regular people. People are plumbers, electricians. I mean, we're just people own restaurants. I mean, this is your regular folks, and I always say the regular folks are going to bring adoption. We need the tech people and the devs to build everything, but we're going to be the ones that bring it to the public because we're the ones doing the regular work and talking the regular lingo, and we're on the wavelength of the regular folks out there. So Litecoin is just definitely a lot of the community itself is just a lot of good people, good-hearted people. Nobody's out to get anybody. Nobody's really like trying to scare people. It's very welcoming of everybody, which is how I wish more crypto was like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was fun having you on the show, Jon Moore, and we will definitely do this again in the very near future. We're definitely gonna meet up and talk a lot more about adoption and how we could help people integrate Litecoin and Bitcoin as payments, and just to help them, you know, get away from the whole confusion of this credit card system that has definitely plagued a lot of businesses for many years into like a safer, more a more expendable way of accepting currencies without the worry and having your account being like withdrawn for months at a time.
Sounds great. Maybe we'll do a part 2 follow-up of this. We'll go into more detail of products and solutions that I offer and all that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do so. Well, it was fun having you on,
Thanks
and
a lot for having me on. All right.
all right, no problem. We'll definitely follow up. Okay,
I'll chat
and
with you on Twitter. All
all
right.
right, definitely.
All right.
All
Take it
right,
easy, man. Have a good weekend. All right.
all right. Okay, same to you.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.